My name's Timothy Andrus. I'm a composer and pianist. I was born in the San Francisco Bay Area, and but I mostly grew up in rural Connecticut. So upper, northwest quadrant of the state. Very, very sort of rural in a white bread sort of way. Picket fences, clapboard colonial houses. A very idyllic place to grow up, actually. I started, I guess, around the time I was 7, and this was actually a result of my dad bringing home a product to review, which was a little electronic keyboard that you hooked up to your Mac, and then there was a software program that would give you lessons, and so yeah, that's what gave me the start. I really enjoyed it, and it taught me how to read music, actually, and then I started writing down music pretty soon after that, just little pieces for piano for the most part. I wrote a couple of things for the children's chorus that I sang in. There are so many people that that I kind of look to for inspiration. I mean, I like the idea of a musician being able to contribute something, kind of, I guess, contribute something to society beyond the actual music itself. One person who I kind of looked to as a model for that since I was a kid was Leonard Bernstein, who was someone who was able to contribute so much in so many different fields, and on top of that have it kind of be more than the sum of its parts. And I think that's why we look back on him as such an important musical figure, because he was sort of this this real thinker and this real kind of humanist who was also able to make music really at the top of his profession. I can only imagine that I would have gone into some other discipline in the arts, probably something visual. I've always been really interested in visual media and especially design. I do I do a lot of design as kind of part of my job, because anything concrete that I put out has to be designed in a way, whether it's a score, a musical score, a business card, or a website, or anything. It has to be designed, and so I take a lot of pleasure in doing that, and I put a lot of time into it, actually. I grew up with computers because that was what my dad did. So there was always a computer in the house, always a Mac. I remember, having the old, Mac Plus or whatever it was, the thing that looked like a big toaster. And then, a succession of progressively larger beige machines. I usually am at the computer. I write straight into Sibelius, and that's just sort of how I'm comfortable working. And I use technology for all sorts of other things, like recording and kind of doing mock-ups and doing my website and all those things. That kind of brings me to the other side of it, which is the kind of everything that goes along with being an artist, which is like just kind of learning about your field and learning about other fields and kind of connecting with other people who are doing similar things and trying to figure out kind of how to make a career out of what you do, which is not a terribly obvious thing. And yeah, I mean, I guess all sorts of digital technology has always come in handy for that. It's hard for me to speak to the sort of generation as a whole. I think we do have a sort of mindset that is maybe newer or sets us apart. I think there's a sense of having to kind of build something for ourselves. Like if you decide you want to be a composer or a pianist or oboist or like whatever, there are no real pathways anymore that are set up to do that. I mean, the world technically doesn't need, more oboists or more composers. I mean, so there's the sense that you kind of need to build something for yourself and kind of figure out something, kind of make something that will allow you to do what you love to do.